Hi everybody. Today let me introduce you a new friend, Mr. Joseph Conrad. Conrad once called himself Homo duplex, and indeed, duplicity is the key word for both his life and his work. He had a double nationality, two different personal careers, a mixed social identity, and in his work, the theme of the double is central in all his writings. His real name, Fyodor Joseph Konrad Korzenioski, was born in the Ukraine region of Poland in 1857. In this time, Poland was split in different areas occupied by three different countries, Austria, Prussia, and Russia. His father was an intellectual and a national revolutionary political figure, and it's because of his patriotic activity in the Polish revolt for independence against Russia that the family was forced to be exiled in Russia. Um, Later, when Joseph lost both his parents in exile in Russia, he was raised by an uncle, Tadeusz Bobrowski. But Conrad, poor health and the fact that he was not a good student caused his uncle constant problems. Joseph was considered intellectually extremely advanced for his age, but in school he excelled only in geography. He disliked school routine and rules, and also he suffered from severe headache and nervous attacks. Since the boy's illness had a nervous origin, the physician suggested fresh air and physical work. So his uncle hoped that a well-defined routine with duties and also to learn what it means to work will teach to Joseph some discipline. And since he showed little inclination to study, it was essential that he learn a job. Anyway, Conrad announced his intention to become a sailor since he was 13 years old. Though he had not completed secondary school, when he left school, his accomplishment included fluency in French with a correct accent, some knowledge of Latin, German, Greek, probably also good knowledge of history and some geography and physics. And also he loved to read, particularly Polish Romantic literature. So in 1874, when he was 17, he left his uncle and his family to go to Marseille in France to become a sailor. 4 years later, in 1878, he joined an English ship crew sailing to Australia. And to do that, English language was required, and also for his master marine qualification. So he studied a lot, and then later also applied for British nationality that he obtained in 1886 when he was 29, and changed his name in Joseph Conrad. So Conrad learned the English language in his 20s and began writing in that language in 1889 when he started working on his first novel, Anne Meyer's Folly. Many of his literary works are partly based or completely based on his personal adventures. This, as he was saying, to create the good stories, as he was calling them, good stories that he believed in because they were personal. He traveled widely as a sailor in the South Seas, the Pacific Ocean, and in Africa that he always dreamed to see. In 1890, he traveled in the Congo region of Africa, and this experience inspired him the novel Heart of Darkness. During his many adventures, he worked on a ship bringing weapons to support the Spanish revolt. Also, he lost money gambling, fell in love. Also, he tried once to commit suicide. So he had a lot of adventure in his real life that he reported in the fiction that he wrote. After a certain time, he was not anymore an ordinary sailor, but he became the commander of his own ship, he made a good career. And after in 1896, he married, and finally, after a certain time, he decided to leave the sea and to settle in England and began to dedicate himself to writing. His first published works received critical acclaim, but even if they were appreciated, they didn't give him financial security, and he continued to live in relative poverty. In 1897, The Nigger of the Narcissus was published, also Lord Jim in 1900, and the book version of Heart of Darkness in 1902. After that, it was published in episodes. This early period was followed by a second, more successful period, which saw the publication of three great novels. Nostromo in 1904, The Secret Agent 2 years later, and Under Western Eyes in 1911. The publication of Chance in 1912 finally gave him some financial success. His social life in England revolved around a group of intellectual and influential friends, a group which included Ford Madox Brown, with whom he often collaborated, also Henry James or Wells, and other various novelists of the time. Conrad interested himself not only in writing his novels, but also in the theory of literature. And about this, he was conversing widely with his friends and colleagues, and he introduced his theories and ideas into his own work. For example, in the preface of The Nigger of the Narcissus, he commented the role of the novelist and also the meaning of the art in a modern period. He was very concerned in literary style, and he wrote that art should be like the plasticity of sculpture, the color of painting, or the magic suggestion of music. He expressed a highly aesthetic view of style while never forgetting the importance of the good story, as he was calling it. Conrad's interest in the good story, his fascination with the telling of a tale, and his adventurous and often romantic stories connect him with the great adventure writers of the 19th century, particularly those who concentrated on the sea stories, like Herman Melville or Stevenson or Marryat or Cooper. He transcends all these writers, with the possible exception of Melville, from the point of view of style and form, insisting that true art is based on the perfect blending of form and substance. In Conrad novels, the fundamental themes are solitude of man, duplicity, of course, the hidden aspect of personality, the almost gothic notion of the wilderness, and the idea of the unknown the other that makes that we can classify him as a modernist.